Hello and welcome to this week's Mystic Message. So this week is getting very cosmic and a little out there, which I personally love. I also think it's really divine that the deck that I chose to go with this week's Mystic Message, if you are subscribed to the newsletter, then you receive the intuitive card pull. But it was my cosmic deck that I picked up this morning before I channeled this message. And so I think it's really divine. So it is a beautiful cosmic, but also balancing earth energy message. And it's bigger, right? This is not so much the deep ins and outs of our own emotions. So the first part of this message that came through was around the sun. And many of us know that the sun is essentially a portal. And that is where a lot of different beings and energies can come through into our galaxy and, to us here on Earth. And I was getting a lot around the sun, and it's not so much like increased solar activity, because we already have a ton of crazy solar activity. And if you're extremely sensitive or you find yourself having headaches or weird physical symptoms or things like that out of the blue, I would really check into things like the solar flares because they can really, really rock us. But that is not what the message is. That stuff is just going to keep continuing. It is, how it has been and just continuing to increase over these past few years. But there's a portal that is bringing in new species of beings from other realms, from different spaces and times, and they're not necessarily in a physical form like you would think with something kind of coming through this portal. But they're coming into our space, and it's almost like they're being allowed in at this time because the vibration is ready. These are beings, these are species, these are energies that are not the super common ones that we hear about and talk about, right? This is not the Pleiadians or the Arcturians or the Sirians or the Andromedans or the Lyrans. It's those ones we've already been connecting with them very heavily. What is coming in are ones that I'm even less familiar with, and I don't even have all of the species because I don't have a realm of reference for a lot of them. But Polarians, Avians, Hadarians is kind of the vibe. And it's essentially species and beings that are extremely energetically sensitive and are at a very high frequency. Essentially, it's almost like they couldn't come in before now. Collectively, we've all been doing so much healing for ourselves, but also for the planet, and also for the grid systems, and also for the interpersonal network systems that connect us all. And the matrix is also dismantling while this new one gets created. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes in these other realms that we cannot see. And the amount of healing that Mother Gaia is doing and that we are helping to facilitate on so many levels. Even as we do our own karmic clearing, healing for our own self, that helps to heal Mother Gaia, because those soul fractals are attached to Mother Gaia in this time and space that they are in. And so as we heal, it has a direct ripple to her, even when we're not intentionally making that, choice to give her healing. So a lot has shifted, and this is a beautiful energy that's coming in because we're ready for it. The planet is ready for it. And vibrationally, it is a suitable kind of environment in a way. And there's a million different reasons of like what they're here to offer and to do. One thing in particular that I'm seeing is almost like these new light grids, almost outside of the planet, more so in like not even in the atmosphere, outside of even our atmosphere, more so out in space, out in the galaxy. I don't know how else to say it. But it's around the planet. And so it definitely has an impact on the energy that comes through as maybe a filter. But it has a bigger role. And it's gonna come to light in these upcoming, weeks and months. But they're also here to assist us and to assist Mother Gaia. They're here to offer new connections for us. If you're someone who has been diving into who am I? Who have I been? What am I here to do? What am I here to offer the world? If you're on this quest of self-discovery, as I think many of us are, and if you're watching this video, chances are you are in some way or another. This is a gift, right? This is something, showing up for you, because these are energies. Something here is for you. I can't tell you what. It's going to be specific to you. It's also anchoring new energies into our world, and offering, assistance, guidance, healing, and helping us to further wake up, right? And essentially, we need to invite them into, if you want to connect with any of these beings, you don't need to know who they are. You don't need to know what to name them or call them. It doesn't matter. Words, language is a lower kind of density way of communication. Intention is the invitation for these higher, beings, these higher vibrational and less dense beings. It's just intention. I'm ready to connect. And it doesn't have to be, oh, I get into this meditation and I can clear my mind and I'm so in tune. Just make that blanket statement and it will show up how it needs to show up. Let go of any attachment of how these energies will show up for you. As I was channeling this message and I opened myself up to this invitation, I felt an intense surge of energy through my body. And I don't know what it was for. I don't know what the intentions were. It felt good. It was very high vibrational. It wasn't bad. But let go of needing to know all of the details. We block ourselves all the time from receiving guidance and assistance and healing because we think we need to know. The mental body, the mind, the brain is so active in us as human beings that we have a really hard time just surrendering and receiving. And so I invite you, and these wonderful beings that are here to support you and to help you, invite you to surrender and just be open to whatever. Feel the sensations. Obviously the intention is to invite in these higher, lighter beings, right? We don't want to mess with lower things. You'll know it's a very different feeling, high versus low. But make that invitation known. We have free will, and our spirit guides may intervene or knock on the door to our brains a little bit more often because that's kind of their role. But these other beings, they're not gonna override our free will necessarily and come into our energy. They're not gonna do that. So you have to invite them in. So make that invitation and have your own boundaries around it, right? I'm open right now, or I'm open during the day. I'm not open while I'm sleeping, or hey, maybe I want the downloads while I'm sleeping. Be intentional with what you want to receive and when, and know that you do have the power over that. You don't have to just be turned on to receiving all the time. If it can, it can be a bit much for some people. But yeah, they're here to really help us tie up loose ends. And not just us, but Mother Gaia. Everything. So you might notice some kind of just rapid healing taking place. Some karmic things just popping up and just feeling like they're just on fast forward, like the pace of your healing in the past that was maybe like this, it's now like whoop, and it's quick because they're here assisting. And the more you invite them in to assist, the quicker it'll go. Another thing that's coming up with this kind of theme is go outside. Go outside and plant your bare feet on the ground. I've been feeling that a lot lately, and I kind of just took the assumption it was we just need to be more grounded because we always need to be more grounded. But when we connect our feet to the earth, to the actual earth, the soil, the dirt, the ground, right? We become like a transmitter. If our system is clear, right? If you're watching this, chances are you've done some healing. Your system is a bit more clear than maybe some other people. You are this beacon. You have the ability to let these energies flow in, and they're just going to flow through you and into the earth or into the grid systems. So whether it seeps into the earth and helps to heal Mother Gaia herself, or the grid systems within the earth, or the grid systems kind of more in the atmosphere, for lack of a better way to put it, or these interpersonal network systems. There's so many ways, there's so many things we can't see that are existing all around us. You know, we are all connected in this web, right? When people talk about we're so connected, we're all connected, it's because we are connected in this beautiful web. And some of us, we all have a different strength or something that happens very naturally within us of how we're able to connect and allow energy to flow through. You don't even need to know what yours is, right? If you've done maybe a soul purpose session with me, then you probably do know what yours is. But whether it's connecting to the interpersonal network systems, the grids, the earth itself, the elemental realm, you know, inner earth, whatever it is that's kind of your thing, you don't even need to know what it is. You know, sure, you can, you know, dive into it if you're curious, because it is really cool. But you're being asked to be a beacon for this energy to let it land in the spaces it needs to land. Okay. A direct message from this group of beings that are kind of showing up for us that are new, maybe newer to a direct connection. Maybe you've read about them, maybe you've heard about them, but maybe you haven't connected with them as directly as maybe some of these other ones. Do not hide. It is time to be seen and to radiate your energy. You are safe. Stand together. You're not alone. And then I got this beautiful image of, you know, all of us who are awake, so to speak. Us all, this beautiful image of us all just outside, feet planted on the earth, you know, allowing this energy to come through us and to anchor into whatever it needs to for healing and upgrades and shifts and et cetera, et cetera. And this kind of beautiful image of us all just holding hands together. And of course, we're not physically holding hands, but it's more metaphorical, it's more energetic, it's more the idea of we think we're alone, you know, on our healing journey, on our, you know, self discovery journey, or even doing this weird quirky stuff. Even this like, oh, I'm outside healing Mother Gaia. You sometimes think you're the only one just because maybe you're the only one in your neighborhood, you know, hugging the trees and talking to the trees. But there are so many of us. And there's a remembrance that really wants to take place of kind of coming together. We've been separated and isolated for a very long time. And we're coming into an era of more togetherness and community and connection. And so let yourself be open to that, whether it's just in this energetic way or seeking it out, whether it's an in-person community or something more virtual like the community that I have. Just be open to it, because that is the era that we're in. We're in an era of support and coming back together and coming out of isolation. One kind of final, well, two final things here. So as much as we have these wonderful, high vibrational cosmic beings that are showing up in our galaxy that have not been here before, there's also kind of a bit of an awakening and a rumbling within the earth of our inner earth realm. There are beings, there is a whole realm, there's a whole dimension within the earth of beings. And this goes back to, you know, everything is about balance. And as much as, you know, when we connect above, I'm a huge proponent of always, you know, stay anchored. As much as we connect above, we have to connect below, and below being Mother Gaia, the earth, physicality. We always have to maintain that balance between the two, or we lose ourselves. And we lose the whole point of what we're here to do. This is similar as these beautiful energies from the cosmos are coming in. There's this ask to connect to the ancient past. A lot of these beings in Inner Earth were not always in Inner Earth. They were on the surface. They were from Lemuria or Atlantis or any of these other beautiful places, you know, that seem kind of mythological. And so, you might be more called to inner earth right now. So this is, use your discernment. Does it resonate for you to connect with inner earth beings, the energy of Lemuria and that kind of thing? Or do you feel more called to, connect above, or both? It's really, there's a balance you do want to maintain. It's like, as these beautiful energies are coming in, it's almost like, don't forget about us when these like new shiny objects appear. Like, remember what is here. And because that energy is important. And the reason it's important right now in particular is because Mother Gaia is purging in a big way. It literally is like the earth is like flushing the toilet. And and so what is happening, think about, like, we're flushing the toilet. So there's going to be some turmoil. There's going to be some chaos. Don't acknowledge it. Don't even enter, like, the flushing of the toilet, right? It's like, and it's very active and there's movement. Imagine we're in this toilet and we don't want to hold on to the stuff that needs to get sucked down. So the chaos, the negativity, the fear, the shit in the news, all the gross stuff, don't attach. Don't even acknowledge it, because that's going to keep it here. Let it flush. And, instead of focusing on any of the stuff that's getting ready to flush out, whether it's collective shit, again, the news, the bullshit, or your own stuff, just let it flush and focus on these other things, whether it is this inner earth energy, this beautiful, I'm trying to get the right words. It is very peaceful. It's very ancestral. It's tribal, but not always in the ways that we think. Think the beings that taught the shamans back in the day. That is what we're bringing in. And even that shamanic energy. Because as the earth is flushing, we're flushing out all the shit that has been here. The societal bullshit and constructs, the patriarchal systems, the 1% gets to be good and the rest of us suffer down here, right? There's the structures in place, the legs, the pillars that this matrix sits on is getting flushed. But we want to let rise up and take that place is a lot of this stuff from inner earth. We're bringing it back. We're bringing back the connection to nature. We're bringing back the respect for nature. We're bringing back the respect for intuition and the understanding of energy and connection and love, right? It's like we're flipping shit upside down. We're going from fear to love. We're going from density to more free-flowing energy. We're going from rules and constructs to sovereignty. That is what's happening, and a lot of it's that inner earth energy coming back up to the surface. And are these beings going to necessarily show up and be like, hey, who knows? I don't know. Maybe that'd be cool. But it's more around the energy, the traditions, keeping those traditions alive, bringing them back to life, breathing life back into, think of all of these ancient civilizations that did worship the stars, that knew all of this divine stuff. They understood so much that we've lost, and that we've lost the value to. We're bringing it back, right? So that is your message. I hope that this helps to guide you and to understand what is taking place when you see the chaos. Do not acknowledge or react to the chaos. Any sort of reaction is holding on to it, is clinging to it. And even resistance to the chaos is attaching to it. You want to feel nothing to the chaos. And the best way to do that is to go out in nature, right? Because sometimes it's hard to work on those reactions if we haven't done the healing behind that. So go outside. If you're feeling reactionary, go outside. If you're feeling overwhelmed, go outside. If you're feeling a little unhinged emotionally, go outside. That is the solution to all of this. And remember that you have these divine beings that are here to help you, and invite them in. All right? Mwah. Bye.